All right, let's dive in. Today, we're breaking down the playbook that top performers use to really get ahead. All these insights, they come straight from an expert training session on something that's totally crucial but often gets ignored: professional organization and effectiveness. So let's get right to it. I love this quote from the expert whose work we're digging into today. Life is a pit and organization is a ladder out of it. Just think about that for a second. The point is, organization isn't just about having a clean desk, it's the actual tool you use to climb up and get to that next level in your career. So, that idea of climbing naturally leads to a huge question, one I think we've all wondered about. Why is it that some people just seem to take off in their careers while the rest of us can feel, kind of stuck? I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? In any company, on any team, there are always a few people whose output is just different. It's on another level. And it's not just luck, and it's not just about being brilliant. There's a documented principle behind this. It's officially called the Pareto distribution, but you probably know it as the 80-20 rule. And the idea is pretty simple. Pretty much anywhere you look, success is not spread out evenly. A tiny percentage of the people are doing the vast majority of the work that matters. This visual just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows this power law in action. The top 20% of performers might be creating 80% of the results. The source material had an even crazier example. On a team of 25 people, the square root, so just 5 people, often produce half of the total output. So the question becomes, what on earth are those 5 people doing differently? So how do you become one of those people? How do you get into that top group? Well, the answer doesn't start with a fancy new app or some productivity hack. It starts with something much deeper, much more foundational. You have to be crystal clear on your motivation. Before we get into any of the how-tos, this is it. This is the single most important question you have to answer. Why are you even doing this? Why do you want to be more organized? Why do you want to be more effective? Because without a strong, clear why, any new system you try, it's just not going to stick. And look, your why can be anything, and it's probably going to change over time. It could be a really concrete goal, like becoming a CPA, or it could be more personal, like wanting financial freedom. The key thing is that you have to define it for yourself, because that purpose, that's the fuel you're going to need to do the hard work of building better habits. Okay, so once you've really defined your why, it's time to build the engine, the machine that turns your motivation into actual day-to-day results. This part is all about the practical tools and systems high performers use to stay on top of everything. Now, the source material got into specific software, but the principle behind it is what's universal. It really boils down to 2 kinds of tools that have to work together. First, you need a project management system. That's for all the official stuff, the projects, the tasks, the deadlines. But then you also need a personal planning tool. That's your command center for your day, your personal goals, your weekly game plan. And here's the specific toolkit that the expert laid out. See how it has those pieces? Project management, a personal planner, and your calendar tying it all together? Again, don't get hung up on the specific software names here. It's the function of each piece that matters. Having this kind of integrated system is what allows you to connect your big goals all the way down to what you're doing at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. You know, a system is only as good as the routine you build around it. And this is the weekly ritual where the magic happens. This is about being proactive, not reactive. You're looking ahead every Friday, planning your week, getting out in front of problems. The speaker said it perfectly. If you are not ahead, you are behind. That says it all, really. So, you've got your why. You have your system humming along week after week. What's the ultimate payoff for all this discipline? What does it get you? It gets you a powerful professional brand that starts opening doors for you. Your professional brand, it's really just what people say about you when you're not in the room. What's your reputation? Are you known for being conscientious, for really thinking things through? Are you seen as competent and reliable? Those are the things that build a killer brand. And this quote from the training just nails it. It makes the connection so clear. Being organized and effective, that becomes your brand. You're more responsive, you serve your clients better, and boom, you have a great brand. That reputation is what makes you the person everybody wants on their project. Now, to really tie all these ideas together, the expert pointed to a classic, well-known framework. And it's a perfect way to kind of bundle everything we've talked about into a few core, unforgettable habits. That's right. Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And what's so cool about this is that it shows these ideas, planning, prioritizing, starting with a goal, they're not just one person's opinion. They are timeless, universal principles for success. So let's just connect these dots really quickly. Be proactive. That's your weekly planning ritual we just talked about. Begin with the end in mind. That is 100% defining your why. Put first things first. That's prioritizing your day so you do what actually matters. And sharpen the saw. That's about always improving, which is exactly what you're doing right now by tuning in. So there you have it. That's the playbook. We've walked through the motivation, the system, and the ultimate payoff of becoming a high performer. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Looking at everything we've unpacked, what is the one single habit you can commit to starting, like today, that will start to build the professional brand you truly want for yourself?